Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode. I'm your host, James. Alongside always, his name is.
I'm Andy.
We welcome you on this journey as we become legend of the nerds. Afternoon, sir.
Afternoon.
I've heard you had a rough week.
It's been tiring, let's just say. I get my first day off from work on Tuesday, so I'm going to enjoy it, sleep in, relax, put my feet up.
Getting back to the workflow really stinks, huh?
It feels good to finally be back to work.
Yes, it does.
So it's just when you work a 7 straight day kind of thing, that first day off is going to be relaxing.
Oh, yeah.
So
You've been working a lot, and that's about it, huh?
basically, got to pay those bills somehow.
They don't get paid on their own, don't they?
Exactly.
We got a big show. Want to jump right into it, or?
Yeah, well, we have some honor mentions for the show.
All right.
We always have those where if someone passes away, we
don't like having them, right?
No, we don't. No, I should state that instead. But we like to honor these people for things they've done outside of the show. They've been great people to mention. One, because we're big wrestling fans, we have to mention the wrestling family lost one of the all-time greats, Bobby the Brain Heenan. He did wrestling back in his younger days, but for me, what I remember the most about Bobby the Brain Heenan was his promos. The man knew how to talk, which is a reason why they partnered him up with Gorilla Monsoon, I believe. And he did commentating with Vince McMahon at some times.
Oh, yeah.
And he was a great manager, too, to Andre the Giant.
Well, the best things I remember him from is cross-dressing and sneaking into the stadium.
Into Madison Square Garden, yes.
Right.
But that's what made him a great promo artist. So, second was a couple days ago, we lost a great, in my eyes, as some people might not think he's great, but he is one of those high-profile names that everyone knows, and it's Hugh Hefner. To me, he was 91 years old, or I should say 91 years young. Because to me, I never thought he was going to pass away. Every time I ever saw him in media or anything, still had a good kick to his step.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll miss you, Bobby the Brain Heenan and Hugh Hefner. Today's show is dedicated to both of them.
There you go. Speaking of Bobby, let's go into some wrestling news, huh?
Wrestling news, yes. Before we jump into the big company, WWE, TNA, which is formerly known as TNA, now it's Global Force, I had to bring this up because I mentioned how much I love Lucha Underground, for instance.
Yes.
Great show. I wonder how great they're going to be in the coming seasons because a lot of their high talent is jumping ship to now being the fact TNA is now Global Force and it's under old management, Jeff Jarrett, and it's back to being great. If a lot of these top-notch superstars in Lucha Underground jumping ship, if it's going to hurt Lucha, losing all their number one talents. For instance, Impact now is taken. We knew John Morrison went to Impact. Talia, which was one of the number one female wrestlers in Lucha Underground, went to Impact. Just found out, so Drago, you remember Drago, the Dragon guy, he was in Impact. Just found out Tejano, he's one of the big-name Mexican wrestlers that was in Lucha Underground, jump-shipped to Impact. Do you think this is going to hurt Lucha Underground? Or can they still survive being still a small company?
It is a small company. The way they run their show is seasonal.
Yep.
So they're never live. It's probably not going to affect them at first. If they keep losing wrestlers and not recruiting any, it could probably hurt them the next couple of years. I think they're probably safe for the next year.
One of their biggest names is a wrestler by the name of Prince Puma. And there's been talk of Puma leaving. If he leaves, I don't know if they can save themselves.
No.
He is their number one wrestler.
They need to get out of, what were they filmed, West LA?
Yeah, it's in some, I forget where, but it's in the LA area.
I think it's West LA, I think is where they filmed. They need to get out of there and start doing more touring, get their name more outgoing. But, I mean, right now, I don't see them really getting affected for another year.
See, it was funny because just a year ago, Vince McMahon was reportedly trying to buy out Lucha Underground, just like he did ECW and WCW.
Right.
Because they were competing.
Yeah.
But now everyone's jumping ship. to bigger things because Impact is becoming great again.
Which is great to hear.
Yeah. So moving into WWE, we just finished watching No Mercy a couple weeks ago.
I have 3 things on my list. I'm going to see if you hit them. If you don't, we'll talk about them after.
Okay. So No Mercy, we didn't get to watch all of it. You had problems with the internet, so we couldn't watch it there. So we had to live stream it through my phone, and I didn't realize how fast I would lose my data.
I told you.
So,
we just wouldn't listen.
Exactly. So we have a couple we'll go over. The ones we watched were Cena and Roman Reigns. Mm-hmm. Roman Reigns won. The match was very, very slow in the beginning, which a lot of people will say it's typical Cena match. Did pick up. Cena did not get the win. What was interesting is after the match, I asked you, I feel like Cena is going to be retiring. Not today, but within the next couple years. Mm-hmm. And we kind of debated this. What we didn't see is Raw's after show talk show, Raw Talk. Cena was on there mentioning. So what we didn't see was he sat in the ring in the corner and just sat there, and the fans were cheering for Cena. Mm-hmm. They were saying thank you, Cena, which is something we don't see. You get the fans who are constantly booing Cena. When you see that and you have fans saying thank you, Cena, that starts triggering the back of my mind. Is there something we don't know? Mm-hmm. Is he really going to be retired now sooner than later? On Raw Talk, he mentioned, he's talking about, he never said retirement, but he kept hinting towards, I've been doing this for 15, 20 years. I am 40 years old. I want to settle down. I'm doing other things.
Right.
And he said, I'm not saying I'm leaving right now, but it is in my head.
Yeah.
So will we see Cena leave sooner than later?
Well, Chris Jericho always said, if you're not in that ring 110%, don't be in that ring. Mm-hmm. It sounds like Cena's not in that ring 110%.
Yeah.
So it does sound like he is leaving. I would say maybe 2019 he's gone.
Yeah. He could become the new Jericho, Rock, all them doing the part-time thing. Yeah. But even though it's going to hurt me because I've watched Cena since day one, he's on my top list of wrestlers, all-time wrestlers, he's my number 2. The thing is, I don't mind him retiring because he's got nothing left to prove.
I'd much rather see him retire than get
He's done
injured.
everything and except the Intercontinental Championship. That's it. But, I mean, literally, he's won world titles, U.S. titles, tag titles, Royal Rumbles, Money in the Banks. Yep. He has done it all. Only thing is the IC title, and he didn't get to face Taker like he always wanted to at Mania. So, we'll see. See how it goes. Next, we had Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose versus Cesaro and Sheamus. Dean and Seth win. But the thing to come out of this match wasn't the victory, but it was a loss. And that is the loss of Cesaro's 2 front teeth.
Yes.
Technically, so I read up on this, they did not pop out of his mouth. For people who don't know what we're talking about, Cesaro gets monkey flipped into the turnbuckle, and when he hit the post on the top, he actually hit his mouth. And all of a sudden you see the blood coming out of his mouth. What it did was, because he hit it, it pushed his 2 front teeth up his gums.
Yep.
Which looked like they had popped out because you couldn't see them. But when they got popped up, after the match, they had to literally take pliers and pull his teeth back down out of his gums. And now he's having surgery on his mouth to get everything fixed.
Must have hurt so much.
Give props, though, to Cesaro. Cesaro going and finishing...
and that happened like in the beginning of the match, too.
The first 2 minutes of the match.
And he finished it strong.
Like a 20-minute match. And they say Cesaro is one of the toughest guys on the roster. And he is.
Yeah, that proves it.
He has finished a match after separating his shoulder. He has blown out his knee in a match, busted his face. I give props to the guy. In the beginning of his career, I hated him. Now, I can't say anything bad about him.
No, I feel the same way.
So, moving on, because I'm just going through these very quickly. Alexa Bliss won in a fatal 5-way match. Whoop-de-doo.
Keep going.
What happened? What's great about this happens. I'll say what happened on Raw after.
It ended.
The matches we didn't get to see were the Cruiserweight title, Neville versus Enzo. We found out that Enzo won. But what we didn't find out was how Enzo won. Enzo low-blowed Neville to pick up the victory. And I'll talk more about that, what happened the following night on Raw. The other match was Braun Strowman versus Brock Lesnar. We both hate Braun Strowman as a wrestler. But we hate Brock Lesnar a lot more.
A lot more.
So we want Braun to win. Unfortunately, Lesnar wins. Do you remember at Great Balls of Fire, the Samoa Joe Brock Lesnar match? Samoa Joe dominated Brock Lesnar in that entire match. Months before, dominated Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar puts Joe up 1 F5 and wins after Joe tries to hit him with his finishers multiple times and doesn't get the pin. Same thing happened in this match, what I read. Braun dominated the entire match. Power slam after power slam after power slam. Brock keeps kicking out. Brock then jumps up, 1 F5, Braun's done.
Really?
Is this saying that Brock Lesnar, for one, his matches, remember how when Goldberg came back, we said, okay, Goldberg, he's older, he probably doesn't have the same kick in his step, so he can't wrestle long matches. That's the same thing with Brock.
Yeah.
Look at the Fatal 4-Way. He had to leave the match and go sit in the back for majority of the match, then came back out for the last 3 minutes and wrestled. That's Brock. He can't do anything. So we're letting him, here, I'll use my move one time and you're done in the entire match.
Yeah.
I'm sick and tired of this low-life piece of crap wrestler
I'm glad you brought
being our
this
world
up.
champion.
I'm glad you brought this up. This actually was part of one of my bullet points here with Brock Lesnar. I did a little research on him. Apparently his contract allows him to wrestle 3 pay-per-views a year.
Yep.
All right. This year, he is going up over that. He's meeting his quota and plus some. So he's doing 4 pay-per-views this year.
Wow, stop the press is 4.
Apparently his last one is going to be Survivor Series.
Thank God.
This is just a rumor, but I heard he's going against Finn Balor.
Makes sense because Finn's being pushed right now.
Yeah. So Finn could probably take the title that day, and then we don't see Lesnar for another contract year.
Thank God.
So, I mean, like, his first match in his contract was Samoa Joe, and then it was that 4-way match, then it was the Strowman match, and then his 4th one would be the Finn Balor match.
Okay.
So that's the way Brock Lesnar's contract works. I looked into it. He's in a 3-match pay-per-view contract.
Okay. I could see him becoming the new Taker, too. I'm only coming back on Manias and facing Manias and all that crap.
I'm kind of hoping they'll end his contract after this last match.
Yep.
And just don't invite him back. He's useless. He doesn't do anything.
The other title match we had was the IC title. Your boy Miz defended against Jason Jordan.
Yep.
Needed a lot of help to get through that match. So, if you don't have anything else for No Mercy, I'd like to move to Raw.
Yes, that's fine.
Okay. So Alexa comes out stating how great she is, but she's ticked off because all everyone's talking about, and I mentioned it that night when we watched it, was when is Asuka showing up? She did not show up on Monday Night Raw, which makes sense because I remember when she left NXT, she left with an injury. So I think they said on Raw it's either TLC or Survivor Series where she's showing up. And Alexa's ticked off. That's all they're talking about. And she talks about how she's dominated every woman in the back. She's beaten them all. Except for one. Do you know who that one is who comes out? I mentioned this that night. They should have replaced Emma with this superstar.
I forgot. I'm going to say Mickie James.
It is Mickie James. Mickie James comes out looking great, I have to mention.
Well,
when does Mickie never look great? And mentions how she wasn't in that match, so you didn't beat me, and Mickie just tears her a new one in the ring. So I could see Mickie becoming the new #1 contender, and I hope she beats Alexa because Mickie deserves to be champion again.
Yeah.
So hopefully we see that match. 2, we had Roman Reigns in a match against Miz Monday night. Roman beat Miz and gets an Intercontinental title shot this Monday. So, new IC champion, maybe?
Maybe.
We'll see. We have then a little SmackDown talk. Hell in a Cell's coming up. We've mentioned some of the great matches that are going to be taking place there.
Right. 2
matches got announced last Tuesday for Hell in a Cell. I complain that the WWE title isn't defended in a Hell in a Cell match, but we get the tag team titles in a Hell in a Cell. We are going to get to see New Day versus the Usos in Hell in a Cell.
Ooh,
which,
I haven't seen that in a long time.
I understand that, but this is the 4th match they've had, and all previous ones, you have to agree, have been great.
They've been good. It's getting stale.
It is. So hopefully this will end the rivalry, obviously, but at least we get a second match for that type of match. Mm-hmm. I mean, it should be the world title in there, but
it definitely should be.
Ginger can't do anything by himself anyways. This match you'll look forward to. Remember how psyched I was for Cena versus AJ?
Yes.
2 of my top 5 favorite wrestlers. These 2 might not be in your top 5. They might be, but you should get very giddy over this match. Dolph Ziggler's out in the ring promoting himself, and the glorious one, Bobby Roode, comes out and challenges him to a match at the pay-per-view. Ziggler accepts. We now have Bobby Roode versus Dolph Ziggler at Hell in a Cell.
Match.
Who do you choose in this match?
Well, this is a tough one because I'm a fan of both.
Yes,
but I'm gonna go with Ziggler.
So you have Ziggler on in your top wrestlers.
Here's the thing work. In my mind, Ziggler's gonna win. On the card, Roode's gonna win.
Yeah,
because Ziggler never wins pay-per-views.
This is how I was going back and forth with Cena versus AJ. Yeah. I went with Cena because he's higher on my list than AJ.
Right.
Cena's my number 2, AJ's my number 3.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to this. Bobby Roode has looked amazing, and 2 great wrestlers, Ziggler versus Roode.
Oh, yeah.
I can't wait. But that is it for me for Wrestling Talk.
Well, you did bring up a name. I wanted to bring it up again because I just think it's great. I'm talking about Enzo.
Yes.
Is he the new Cruiserweight champion?
Yes, I have to talk about that a little more.
And didn't we call this as soon as we heard that Enzo and Gas broke up?
Yes.
I totally called this.
So, I forgot to mention with that, after the low blow, so Monday night, he gets to main event Raw. He is the end of the show, the last 20 minutes.
That's fantastic.
And he mentions to all the cruiserweights who are standing out there on the out on the stage, he goes, "Where would you guys be without me? Because of me, we are main eventing Raw." And they heel turned him. He is officially a heel now.
Fantastic.
He got Kurt Angle to give him a piece of paper saying if anyone attacks him down there, they don't ever get a title shot, da-da-da. Neville comes out and just beats the crap out of him. Then all of the cruiserweights come down and start beating up on Enzo. On 205 Live on Tuesday, Neville's in a match. Enzo comes out, starts hitting him with his crutch and everything. So Enzo is officially a heel turn, but fans still love him.
I think that's a good call.
Yeah.
In management, making Enzo a heel. That's a good call.
His promo was awesome too because he's talking about how because of him, they're main eventing Raw. Mm-hmm. Like he said, my 1 month's worth of salary that I get from merchandise can equal all of the entire cruiserweights in an entire year. I mean, he was just tearing them a new one.
Enzo's so good on the mic. They need to make him heel. Mm-hmm. There's no other way to do it.
So I don't have a problem with it. I mean,
no, it's gonna be very entertaining.
Yeah,
I can't wait to see what else.
Like you said, people complain because Enzo doesn't jump off the ropes and do high flying moves. But you mentioned the word cruiserweight doesn't mean high flying. It means under 205 and under. This is an Impact where X Division means high flying.
Exactly right.
But there we go.
That's it for Wrestling Talk right now. I don't know if you want to give any props to NFL coming up. If your Packers played, if you want to...
I think they're 3-1 now.
I know you like to talk about that.
Yeah, baseball just ended, so we're going in the playoffs. Red Sox, my team, they're in the playoffs. I don't expect them to do much. They are, as I say, sucking pond water. So we'll see. It's October, anything can happen.
Right.
So... thank God football, though, started back up. That's my all-time favorite sport.
And that's why I brought it up, because I know you like the Packers a lot, so...
They're 3-1. It's early.
It's early, right?
Come Thanksgiving, when we're about halfway, or three-quarters of the way, then I'll start figuring things out.
All right. Got a little Nintendo-verse.
Yes, I have a little gaming verse, too.
Oh, you do?
With Nintendo.
Oh.
So start us off with
All right.
Nintendoverse.
So, Mario Odyssey comes out in the month, the 27th of October.
Yes.
I'm super excited.
Of course you are.
But I did recently get to play the new Mario game, Mario and Rabbids Battle Kingdom. Fantastic game, Andy. It is like no other Mario game ever played.
Yep.
This is pretty much so the point of the game is that Mario needs to save the kingdom from the chaos that the rabbits had upon Mushroom Kingdom. So it's pretty much a strategy, combat, turn-based battle game. So you pretty much the point of the game is to move your character behind barriers. You have a gun like a Mega Man blaster to shoot the other opponents. It's one of those strategy games. It's very fun and entertaining. I see myself playing hours on this game.
Okay. But for right now, you're playing hours still of, is it called Splat?
Splatoon 2.
Splatoon, so that's still sucked you right in with that game?
I am playing that all the time right now. Yep.
Uh,
that and the new Dragon Ball game.
Yeah, I was going to mention Xenoverse.
Yep.
So you being the biggest Dragon Ball fan I've ever known, how's this game been for you so far?
So far, I love the storyline.
Yep.
I'm digging it. You start the game off by creating your own character.
Mm-hmm.
You can be a human, a Saiyan, a Namekian, and a Frieza race. So you make your own character, then he goes and does the storyline.
Yep.
You're pretty much a time patrol agent. The point of the game is to go back in time and right the wrongs of the timeline. So the first one was going back to the Saiyan saga when Raditz came back to, tell Goku, you didn't kill anybody, what's going on. That storyline is, what happened was he got way too strong.
Yep.
And Piccolo and Goku could not beat him. Somehow he was aware that these two were going to face off. So your character had to go back in time and help even the odds. So different timelines go like that. It's a very interesting game. I'm enjoying the crap out of it.
Yep.
It's very hard.
Well, for me, I haven't played these, but I've seen the trailers, and I can't wait to play them. The first one is another installment of the Marvel vs. Capcom franchise. It's called Marvel vs. Capcom Infinity.
Yep.
Basically, the plot is your players from the Marvel and Capcom universes, and their worlds collide, and they have to fight together to defeat Ultron.
Yes.
Of course, Ultron wants to take over multiple worlds.
If you're going to have a villain do this kind of game, Ultron's the way to go.
Yeah. I mean, you see Thanos in it too and stuff, but for me, Ultron is one of those all-time big bad villains in the Marvel Universe.
Yep.
One of the parts I loved in the trailer was, where else in a game are you going to get Captain America and Mega Man teaming up? I love that team up for some reason. It looked awesome.
It is very cool.
So
Absolutely a cool idea.
I got so excited, that's why I have the first one on the table here, but the sequel to South Park, The Stick of Truth, is coming out this month. Mm-hmm. It is called, hopefully I don't get bleeped here, South Park, The Fractured Butthole. Mm-hmm. So, but it's not butt as in your rear end, it's just B-U-T.
Yep.
So it's a play on words and everything.
This game pushes. I read about this game.
The storyline is kind of basically the same as the Stick of Truth. In the Stick of Truth, you're the new kid that moves to town, and the characters in the game dress up as mystic characters, kind of like Lord of the Ring characters.
Right.
In the sequel, because a lot they do now is all about the superhero saga. Because, I mean, look, we're in the comic book superhero saga in real life.
Of course.
So they dress up as their favorite superheroes, made up names, all that stuff. So that's what the Fractured Butthole is all about. Now you're the new kid again, and you got to choose a superhero gimmick. So I'm excited. I'm a huge fan of South Park.
What system is it coming out on?
It's coming out on PlayStation and Xbox.
Okay.
So
Xbox One?
Yeah.
Are you going to be able to play it?
Probably not until I get a One. So we'll see. Hopefully Black Friday.
Right, there you go.
That's how I got the 360. But, yeah, what I'm excited for about it is it took forever for Stick of Truth to come out. And unfortunately, they said it probably would happen with the sequel. But things have changed, and I thought I heard the sequel was supposed to come out during Christmas, maybe in the new year, and now it's coming out.
It kept getting pushed back.
Yeah, and I mean, now it's coming out in October.
Yeah.
So, I can't wait to play it.
They keep getting pushed back. I don't play those type of games, but I'm glad they keep pushed back because that means there's more attention to detail in the game itself.
Yeah.
You know, they obviously, like, this game is not ready to be released. There are too many things wrong with it. Let's push it back and fix it.
Well, it's the same thing with my all-time favorite gaming saga, which is Kingdom Hearts. Number 3 has been pushed back so much because they're adding so much more and trying to make it the best Kingdom Hearts game ever. And if it isn't, I'm going to be really upset, but I feel like it's going to top everyone's expectations.
Oh, yeah.
So, that's game talk for me.
That's the Nintendo-verse.
That is the Nintendo-verse.
Let's jump into the Flare-verse.
Yes.
1 week away,
We are
Andy.
a week away from the Flareverse. I cannot wait. This is why I love the fall, because the last 2 weeks, a bunch of fall shows have come back. I'll mention them in TV talk later. But we're ending the beginning of the fall season with the Flareverse coming soon.
Yes.
So.
And here's what I got. One topic, it's on The Flash.
Okay.
I read an article with Tom Welling. He is more than willing to come back as Clark Kent. He wants to do it as Clark Kent from Earth 3 or something.
Okay.
He wants to really make Smallville part of the Flareverse.
Yes.
And since Flash does a bunch of multiverses, this is a perfect show to do it in.
Well, that was...
So one of the episodes that he wants is Flash to go to his universe, and then Clark can be there. You know, so that's a great idea.
When you just mentioned that, it kind of thought in my head, okay, I know Kara and her Superman Clark are on Earth 2. Or not.
23.
23. Yeah, they're one of those Earths. That's right. And so my thought was, okay, so Clark will be, because in Flash and Arrow's universe, there is no Supergirl that we know of
yet, yeah.
So maybe that could have been Clark on Earth 1. But it makes sense that our Flash would have to go to a different world for Clark, because remember, in the Smallville universe...
We already had the Green Arrow, and we had Flash, and
exactly.
we had Cyborg, and all this other stuff.
And how awesome would it be if he does that, and you bring back that Justice League kind of thing?
How cool would that be?
Just for... Or even maybe a
Tom
merger.
Just think about a one-and-done kind of episode, you know?
Yeah,
he just
like one of
wants
those merger
Smallville
episodes.
to be part of the universe. And it was his idea. He's like, the only way I'll do it is if this happens.
Yeah, how cool would it be seeing the two Flashes see each other and the two Olivers see each other, stuff like that. That'd be awesome.
Absolutely. It'd be a great episode.
Yeah.
And it could be the next crossover episode, you know? Who knows?
And it'd be awesome if they did that, because to me, Smallville helped build the CW to where it is today, the DC CW universe.
Yeah. Smallville, that's the house that Smallville built, you know? It really is.
Sure.
Arrow is moving to Thursday nights. Why is CW doing that? To fit into the timeline, storyline more?
I'm not sure.
Maybe things are happening
when they move time slots, it's a weird thing.
I get nervous, but then again, they are having a 3-show storyline going, so maybe things are happening earlier.
It could be to fit
Flash.
Black Lightning in there somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Real quickly, which CW show are you looking forward to the most?
CW show I always look forward to the most.
Of the DC CW.
It's a toss-up this year.
Okay.
Between Arrow and Legends.
Mine is Flash.
Every year, yours Flash, mine's Arrow. Every year.
The whole Flash. It's because I
love the Flash.
I can't wait to find out more about Barry and the Speed Force.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And who is the new villain if it's not going to be a speedster? So.
But that's all I have for Flareverse.
Okay.
Then we have a little TV talk.
I have some TV talk.
Let's do it.
Fall shows came back, so I started watching some. I mentioned last time the Orville, which I said, yes, it's a good show. It wasn't, like, great.
Okay.
But I'm 3 episodes in now, and I'm loving it even more each episode.
I bet.
And they have now cameo roles from high-paying actors and actresses. The last episode, Liam Neeson did a cameo in the show.
Did he?
Yep.
That's what?
And he was a captain of this ship that's been floating in space for 2,000 years. So obviously,
that's fantastic.
Obviously, he's dead now, but his cameo was a recording of himself. And in this week's episode, you have, I know I always pronounce her name wrong, but Charlize Theron. Know who I'm
Yeah.
talking about?
Yeah, I know who you're talking
She's going to guest star in the next episode, too.
That's fantastic.
So, I mean, that's what Fox does with their shows, is they usually get some high-paying people for 1 or 2 episodes in a series.
You know what Fox does? They like to take all their money into the first season and then cancel it after the second season.
Basically, well, that's how it is with all the big ones. So, but Orville's getting good with each episode. Next, I watched the first episode of Star Trek Discovery. Unfortunately, I didn't get to watch the last 10 minutes of it because it cut off. But from what I saw, it was pretty good.
Yeah?
They introduced the Klingons in the first episode, so the Star Trek group and the Klingons are going to war. So
Big surprise there.
exactly, but it was still a good episode. I'm really into this show called Me, Myself, and I. It's about this guy and
Who's the star of that show?
some comedian from Saturday Night Live.
Because the show does sound familiar. I'm going to look it up.
Basically, it portrays his life in 3 segments: as a kid, as a middle-aged man, and as a senior. So it's kind of neat seeing these flashbacks and jump forwards to futures and everything. And he's an inventor, and it's just about his life. So it's pretty good. The last one I have to talk about, spoiler alert, if anyone's in the back listening, we're going to talk a little Gotham. And I know you hate talking Gotham. You think it's the worst show ever now. But
It's not the worst show. It's just not the...
I mentioned
show.
in the season finale of last season, you have Bruce in his little black hoodie cape kind of thing defending Gotham. And he almost gets shot wearing that. So Lucius Fox, because he doesn't work for Wayne Enterprise anymore, but he still has some of their technology, gives Bruce a suit that is a prototype for the military. And it's got like the Kevlar vest, so it's bulletproof. It's got claws where he can jump and hang off the walls and everything. And Alfred made him a mask.
Of course.
So he's kind of got a prototype bat suit now. And he's defending Gotham as like a 16-year-old teenager.
That is good stuff.
Catwoman, I forget her regular name though.
Selena Kyle?
Selena Kyle. She's got her whip now. She's learning to use that. Poison Ivy drinks a bunch of potions, so I'm guessing she's going to maybe turn green now and be able to control plants. And my favorite thing is Penguin has now corrupted the new mayor of Gotham to have it where Penguin enforces the law of crime, and he makes the crime villains buy licenses. So
Now, when is Penguin going to turn short, fat, and wear a monocle?
probably in 20 years when all the other characters become weird too. So yeah, that's Gotham. Getting off
That's
the
a circus of
getting off
Gotham.
the Jim Gordon saga and on to the Batman saga.
All right, what else do you have for TV talk?
That was it for TV talk.
All right.
Not much.
That's it?
Yeah.
Fantastic. The box office heroes?
Before I do that, I do want to do one little thing of Go Talk before I forget.
Oh, sure.
I caught myself a Mewtwo this weekend.
Yep.
I told you about it, and you didn't believe me. I needed to give you proof. And prior to today, I gave you proof on the phone.
There you go.
I have a Mewtwo. Would you like to apologize for thinking I would lie to you?
I didn't say you lied to me.
You wanted photographic proof.
I mean, I think you're lying to me. I just wanted to see some proof.
So, yeah, I was giddy like a school child. After that, went back home and went back to bed.
There you go.
So, that's my Go Talk for today.
Fantastic.
Okay, box office heroes.
So, I went one extra step. This is from September 29th to October 1st.
Yes.
All right?
I am going number 3. Got to jump on the bandwagon of those animes. Lego Ninjago movie.
Okay.
Number 2, which I wish it was number 1. Hey, maybe it is. Kingsman 2, The Golden Circle. Number 1, I'm going with the remake of Flatliners.
Okay. Number 3,
Yes.
$17 million. Kingman 2.
Oh, I'm really hoping this movie isn't going to be a bomb.
Number 2, $17,600,000. American made. Number 1, $17,300,000. It.
Still.
Still.
Wow.
But it was a very slow box office weekend, though.
Yeah, I am surprised.
Everyone made in the 17 million.
I am surprised Flatliners is actually not in the top 3 because of the hype over this movie.
Yeah, apparently Kingman was better.
Not by much. Kingman only made that little.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
Kingman to me is probably going to make more money outside of America.
I'll be honest with you. I'm actually really surprised Kingman even came in the top 3 at all.
Okay.
I really am. Not a lot of people talked about the first one like we did.
Yep.
So it really wasn't a big hyped movie.
No, it probably was.
So I'm very surprised and happy that it even came in number 3.
Like I said, it probably was overseas. I mean, it's based in Great Britain.
All right.
So it's probably going to do better overseas.
Yeah.
But it is the big one, I think, for being out, what, 3-4 weeks now?
Yeah, it's still number 1.
Wow.
The Clown keeps his title.
Movies that just can't, and I'm surprised. Is the fad of the Lego movies starting to die now?
I just don't think it was didn't even go to the box office at all.
I don't know.
I don't think it did.
I mean, the Lego movie, I think, probably made bank.
But keep in mind, it's not just Lego, it's Ninjago. This is something completely different than the Lego stuff.
Okay, true, because Lego Batman kind of interacted with the Lego movie.
Yeah, Ninjago is something completely different.
Okay.
So, which I'm surprised it didn't come in here because Jackie Chan stars in it, so.
Yeah.
But that's it for the box office heroes. The Clown wins it.
The Clown is still number 1.
Main event time.
Yes.
I don't know if we want to do this, as a review style, but I pretty much named it 3 must-watch movies.
Okay.
That's how I named this main event today. Starting off with Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Yes. People are probably going to wonder, these movies have been out for a while.
They have been out,
but we just barely got to watch them. They just came out on DVD not too long ago. We do have lives, too. It's hard to go to the movie theater.
It is.
So, and it's expensive.
But, I mean, that's why they're must-watch movies.
Yes.
They're not new, they're just must-watch.
Must-watch. So, Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Would you like to start off, or would you like me?
You rock out of this section. You go ahead.
The one time I am not ready for the show, and you want me to go ahead and do it.
I can do it if you want me to.
I'd rather...
Well,
like I said, my week has been so busy that literally it is go to work, get home, sleep, I get up, I have 2 hours to get ready for work, and then go back to work.
Which is what I like you doing, because you have this, 8-story paragraph of these movies that you review them all. Me, I have short, sweet, what I like about the movie kind of stuff.
That's how I did it today.
Okay. So here it is.
Things will click as we're talking about it, so...
It was a good movie.
It was an amazing movie.
It was a good movie. But I questioned the storyline a little bit. There wasn't much movement towards the Infinity Wars. But from what I got, I mean, I enjoyed the movie.
Does it have to, though? Does every Marvel movie have to keep setting up Infinity Wars? We know what we're going to get in Infinity Wars.
I think...
The Guardians aren't going to show up till the second one.
I think it's important that the Guardians movie did set up a little bit. Because Guardians of the Galaxy 3 comes out after all the Infinity War movies.
Mm-hmm. I mean, even in the credits, nothing talks about
I
Infinity.
expected something to happen. Not a lot of movement, I liked the storyline, but there wasn't any movement towards the Infinity Wars. So now we're going to get to the Infinity Wars, and then we're going to have the Guardians show up.
Now, did you... I can't remember. Did you say that you thought the last Infinity Stone was going to show up in this movie?
Yeah.
The Soul Stone?
Yeah.
Okay. See, I keep saying it's going to be Thor, so come the end of the year, we'll find out.
We're going to find out. I mean, it's going to be Thor now.
Maybe it might not be Thor. It might be Black Panther.
It might be. But anyways, I enjoyed the movie. Baby Groot was adorable.
Baby Groot was the star of the show.
And Rocket was typical Rocket.
Yes.
So for the whole movie, I enjoyed it for what it was, knowing to get Peter Quill's background of his father, where he went, what he's become. That was a great storyline. Oh, I just want more of a movement towards Thanos, movement towards the area that we all are wanting to see.
Yeah. Well, adding my 2 cents.
Absolutely.
Because things are clicking, remembering the movie. Let's just get to how it began. You have them defending this planet's batteries, and in exchange they get Nebula, because... now I'm forgetting her name. Gamora wants to take Nebula. She wants to go and use her as bait to kill Thanos, all that stuff. Rocket steals these batteries from these people. They want to kill the Guardians now, but are saved by Ego. Mm-hmm. So you think in the back of your mind, Ego is actually going to be a good guy. But if you know Ego's backstory, he's not a good guy. He brings Peter to this planet to help Peter channel his inner ego.
Right.
Because Ego isn't even really a person. He is a human planet. So they land on his home planet, which is actually him. Yeah, which is pretty weird. And you find out some more backstory about later on with what's the blue guy's name? With the fin.
Oh. Let's just call him Mary Poppins right now.
This is true. I can't remember his name in the movie now. But yeah,
Mary Poppins. I'll get the name for you.
They give him the nickname Mary Poppins, and he goes with it because he doesn't know who Mary Poppins is. It's funny. He goes, "I'm Mary Poppins." Bleep. And you find out that once I get his name, I don't know why I can't remember. It's played by.
You remember that either?
Michael Rooker.
Michael Rooker. You got that one.
You find out Ego hired him to get all of Ego's children. Yondu. Because Ego's been impregnating different races to try to use them in his conquest.
You're right.
And they all end up dying. Peter's the only one who actually fits the bill. Yondu feels bad because he finds out all these children are dying by Ego. So you have an epic battle towards the end between Peter and Ego. Unfortunately, at the end, Yondu does die. He gets a nice burial at the end, which is pretty neat. Mm-hmm. In the movie, though, is Marvel going too comedic in their movies, is the question.
I don't
this movie this movie, we laughed a lot in this movie.
Well, I mean, that's the Guardians. I mean, I don't think they're going too comedic. I don't think they're cutting back the comedy. I think it's perfect.
Okay.
Because movies are meant to be entertaining.
Because we're going to get that in Thor Ragnarok, a lot of comedy.
Oh, yeah. I like this formula for a superhero movie. The formula that DC uses is just terrible. It's all dark. It's all gritty. And they kind of stretch the truth, honestly.
Yep.
You look at the Aquaman, his images. Come on. Aquaman isn't pumped up strong. He's a string bean in the ocean, He's not that tough, but they make him, really BA in the DC movies, and I don't like that.
Okay.
I enjoy what they're doing, so, no, Marvel's definitely not using too much comedy.
Mm-hmm. Well, just to finish off, so Peter ends up killing his father, Ego. Is Ego really dead? We don't know. He might be. He might come back sometime. Is there a relationship? Here's another question. Relationship building between Drax and Mantis. We'll see. In the post-credits, you have Groot growing up, which is hilarious. Now he is this teenager that listens to nobody, which is pretty funny. And the race that Rocket stole the batteries from in the beginning of the movie ends up creating a new being in this cocoon, which they name him Adam. And a lot of fans, if you know the comics and you know the series and everything, they're talking Adam Warlock, who is this all-time destroyer who even Thanos is scared of, who they're creating to destroy the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Right.
So I'm so excited for Guardians of the Galaxy 3 when Adam Warlock shows up, because he is a huge character in the Guardians Marvel universe. So Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy 2, I give it a 4.5 out of 5.
There you go.
So
I give it about a 3.5.
3.5?
Yeah, I wanted to see a little more.
All right.
But it was still an entertaining movie.
We still got some time left, but
we are going to save the best one for last. Right now, Fast 8.
Fast 8, okay. Fast 8 for me was not as great as people might think it was. Fast 7 was great, and I think with the loss of Paul Walker, I state that Paul Walker is actually the face of Fast and Furious. You think it's Vin Diesel.
Let me tell you what I wrote down. Then we'll talk about Paul Walker.
Yeah.
All right. I enjoyed the storyline. but Vin Diesel turning against the team didn't really go well with me at all.
Yeah.
I don't think he could have done it that well. But I think it could have been better if Paul Walker was in the scenes. You know? Mm-hmm. I just look at Vin Diesel, I don't see heel. But I think if you had Paul Walker there with him acting, he could have pulled it off a little better.
Okay.
So I think the series took more of a loss than I thought it would with the loss of Paul Walker.
Yeah, I don't see the series lasting that much longer.
After this movie, I realized that Paul really pushed this series along a lot more than I ever thought he would.
Mm-hmm. So if people are wondering, okay, what are we talking about with, if you haven't seen it yet, with Vin Diesel's character Dom turning heel, he basically isn't a villain. He's being blackmailed by Charlie Theron's character. Charlize, or I can't remember pronounce her name.
Keep going.
And you find out he ends up basically calling her bluff. You tell me you have something of mine, and I haven't seen it. Come to find out, they have kidnapped his former love interest. Well, I have Fast Five here. Mm-hmm. Elena, who he met down in Brazil. And come to find out, she was pregnant with his baby boy, and she has now given birth. That right there was the nail in the coffin. Yes, I love Elena, and I'll go out of my way for her, but now she has my child there too. He ends up calling their bluff again somehow, and they shoot Elena. Very heartbreaking scene. Now he knows he has to do whatever he can to save his son, his baby boy. Including enlisting the help of the villain from the previous movie, Deckard Shaw, played by
Jason Statham.
They actually get both Shaw brothers to help out.
Which is fantastic.
And for me, what was fantastic was the Rock's fight scene in the prison with Deckard Shaw, because he gets thrown into prison when Dom betrays him.
Dwayne Johnson and Jason Statham have a fight scene together, we saw it in the other movie too. Mm-hmm. It was really good. It was awesome. Well
done. My favorite scene in this movie, between all the car chases and all that, and I should state, so the reason Charlie Theron's character is blackmailing Dom is so that they can control this nuclear missile sub at the end, and they have the sub, which is funny because you now have all these cars racing on the ice away from a sub. So it's funny that way. But you get the Shaw brothers come back, who they beat up on Brian Shaw in number 6.
Right.
And they become good guys, kind of. And what was the best part of the movie was Jason Statham's scene where he rescues Dom's little baby boy on the plane, puts headphones on, and they're playing Alvin and the Chipmunks, and he kind of covers his eyes as he's fighting all these other guys and shooting them.
How good a scene was that done, huh?
Oh, yeah. It was an amazing scene. It shows Statham not just as an action guy, but he can be that, like, father kind of type where he's taking care of the baby.
He's done it in a lot of his other movies, too. Mm-hmm. Like, I've seen a lot of Jason Statham movies in my time, and this isn't the first time I've seen him do that kind of scene. He is phenomenal with that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So, at the end, of course, the Fast 8 family wins.
Yep.
Unfortunately, the bad girl, we'll call her, Charlize Theron's character, I don't know her name, she gets away. So are we going to see her in the
Cypher?
There you go, Cypher. We're going to see her in the 9th installment. We don't know. And The Rock's character, after he went to jail, obviously lost his job at the DSS. He gets offered a job back, decides not to take it. He wants to take time off with his family, so he's going to end up joining the Fast 8 crew that way.
I think so.
But yeah, we'll see. And at the end, when Deckard Shaw shows up with Dom's baby in the backyard at the family picnics, he basically is part of the family now. So literally, we go from one movie where you killed family members and tried to kill everybody else. You're now part of the family.
Yeah.
And then we end the movie with the tearjerker. We name the new baby Toretto Brian.
Right.
So,
which was obvious, but it was awesome.
It was obvious, but it's a nice little touch for a tribute to Paul Walker.
Oh, yeah.
So, That is Fast 8.
Yeah.
I give it a 3 out of 5.
Yeah.
Not as good as the other Fasts.
It's not as good as the Fast one, but it gets a 4 out of 5 from me.
4 out of 5?
Yeah.
Okay. So we've got about 9 minutes to go here.
We're going to go through this one in 5 minutes. I wish we had more time, because out of the 3, this one probably was one of my favorites. Maybe. I really enjoyed it. The movie I'm talking about is Baywatch.
This movie got so much bad hype, and I told you I think it's because a lot of people thought they were going to see a Baywatch movie based off the actual series of Baywatch,
But here's the thing.
which was a drama.
But here's what people don't understand when they think about Baywatch. This is almost spot on.
Yes, but it's because of the comedy
Kind
why
of
people
what the
didn't like
Baywatch
it.
show was about.
Yeah, this movie was hilarious. I could not stop laughing
Dude.
in this entire movie.
Dwayne Johnson and Zac Efron's chemistry together on the screen was phenomenal.
Which we have to state, there's a reason it's called a spoof.
Yeah.
It's supposed to make fun of the original.
Yeah.
And I really hope the second does come out.
I
I
do
don't
too.
think it's going to, but I hope it does.
It was one of those movies that I was like, do I want to watch it? Yeah, I'm glad I watched this movie.
Mm-hmm. So all the characters in the movie, all the actors that played the characters are the same names as the original characters in the TV series.
Yep.
You also had some cameo roles in this movie. You had the Hoff, David Hasselhoff, return for a cameo role. You have Dwayne Johnson playing Mitch Buchanan. He loses his job at Baywatch and becomes
A salesman for Sprint.
Yeah, you should love that.
It's so funny.
And David Hasselhoff's character comes in and motivates him to go back. And what's funny is David Hasselhoff's character is also named Mitch.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I'm playing Mitch Buchanan, but Hasselhoff comes back and his name is Mitch Buchanan. The other cameo role is at the end of the movie. Dwayne Johnson's character is talking about this other lead lifeguard at another Baywatch site. And it comes to be, it's Pamela Anderson. Mm-hmm. And her name is CJ. Yet we already have a CJ at this Baywatch. So it's kind of like a Flareverse thing. We got we have multi Baywatch universes that are merging with each other.
Yeah.
So
great.
The storyline in Baywatch, you have Matt Brody's character, played by Zac Efron, shows up. He's cocky. He thinks he doesn't have to do anything. And then, of course, it has the, we are not just lifeguards, we're investigating murders and drug trafficking.
And he doesn't understand why.
No, exactly. He's like, we're lifeguards. We sit here and jump in the water.
That's all we do.
Even the cops are the same way.
Yeah.
And just the different tactics that they go through. One of my favorites was Zac Efron busts up a theft on the beach, and it's a guy with a cooler that sucks up people's purses.
Right.
And he uses that in the police station to suck up some files.
Yeah.
It's just the funny little add-ons in the movie.
This movie was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It really was.
It had the sex appeal that you want with a Baywatch movie, obviously. Yep. You had the love interests. You had the comedy. You even had, Baywatch was a love drama TV series. Mm-hmm. You had the drama. You had it with the, we need to find out who is killing people and trafficking these drugs. So to me, the movie had different things that made a great movie. It's just, to me, a lot of people, I think, who grew up watching the Baywatch series thought that's what they were going to get. Mm-hmm. I can even quote, my parents saw Baywatch. Ooh, my mom's like, there's a Baywatch movie at Redbox. You don't want to see it. I just said right off, it's a comedy.
Yeah. It was a good movie, and I hope the sequel does come out.
Yep. Are we going to see, if a sequel does come out, more cameo roles then from the more Baywatch originals?
Maybe.
Do we have to see it? No. As long as Hasselhoff is actually the only cameo, that is the funniest cameo I've ever seen of David Hasselhoff.
Anything that Hasselhoff does is great. That guy is just fantastic.
True. So, Baywatch, for me, out of a 5, I gave it a 4 out of 5.
I agree.
Yeah.
4 out of 5.
About time we finally agreed
on
one of these.
It was very enjoyable, and that's what a movie should be.
Okay.
That's it for me.
Anything else you'd like to add to the show?
I don't think we have time.
I don't think we do either. So, unfortunately, this is the end of the show. Thanks for watching. As always, Watch this episode and every other episode on our YouTube and Facebook pages at Legends of the Nerds. Follow us on Twitter at KrillinMan. We don't have anything planned yet for the next show, but we will figure something out. We usually do. This was episode 66, so we are nearing that 70.
66, huh?
So I am very happy once we reach 70, because that means within another year we'll hit that milestone of 100. So hopefully next year we'll have something really big planned for that. Again, just want to say this show was in honor of Bobby the Brain Heenan and Hugh Hefner, gone but not forgotten. And with that being said, don't forget, stay nerdy.